Hi everyone, welcome back to Lee's Comic Art channel. I have a show that's a little bit different today because I do have an unboxing of one page, and as that relates to the other pages that I'll be showing today. But let's get into this unboxing first, okay? So let me first start by saying that this purchase is from a dealer that I actually happen to buy quite a bit from. And the funny thing is I'm usually buying art from this specific artist. So the dealer, and I'm going to give him a little shout out here because I think, as far as collectors go, his pricing is great. Part of the reason why I buy from him, but also because he represents this artist. So the name of the dealer is Super Pals. Super Pals Art, I believe it is. Fred Chamberlain runs that. And the art that I typically pick up from him is of Eddy Barrows. I have quite a few Eddy Barrows pages. You can check them out on my Comic Art Fans page, but I'm actually going to, after this unboxing, I'm going to do a little special focus on Eddy Barrows. So, some people might have seen this page already. It was featured on Comic Art Fans, Comic Art Live Thursday show. So what we've got here is we've got Eddy Barrows, Action Comics number 1068. Yeah, that's great. Nice close-up of Superman. Tremendous job of cross-hatching on this page. You can see the detail. So when they were talking about this on Comic Art Live, they were just mentioning how they don't see how the inker can really add anything to this page because there is just so much detail in here. And the content's great too. I mean, the Superman pose, he's in his, he's in like a retro outfit there with the old S. It's focusing on his eyes, or he's starting to use his, I think he's starting to use his heat vision there. The second, or the third panel, let's call it, features Lois and Jimmy. And, it's just a nice storytelling page too. It's easy to see, where the motion goes. But the detail is really what struck me of this, let's call it a semi-splash, because it is like a three-quarter figure of Superman in the background there. And the detail is really amazing. I actually have the original comic here. And what's funny is, and I just picked it up last week because it just came out. And the funny thing is, I think there's more detail on this pencil version than there is on the final inked version. Like if you're looking at Superman, I can't even know if I can see it. If you're looking at Superman's face, there's actually more detail in the original pencils. They would have been better off producing this from the original pencils. So, which is, not to denigrate the inker or anything, but I think it's kind of hard to follow up when your penciler's doing work like this on a page. Okay, it's obviously difficult to try to, match all the cross-hatching he's done in there. There's more cross-hatching in this pencil page than there is on that ink page, that's for sure. And unfortunately, I think the ink page loses some of the detail in the face if you look at it. So that's too bad. Because the inker in this case is let me see. Oh, it's Danny Mickey. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So well-known inker. Not an inker, not someone that typically inks Eddy Barrows though. So maybe I'm not sure what Mickey thought when Mickey thought when he took a look at these pencils. He was probably like, "Oh my goodness, I would have been like that if I was an inker." Tried to follow up on this, but extremely happy with this. It's one of my favorite pieces in my collection at this point, which, always happens when you get something new. But I think it will stay as one of my favorites for quite a while, because a lot of Eddy Barrows artwork is still in my top 10 pages that I've gotten, like a year, 2 or 3, or even longer ago. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a little bit of a focus on Eddy Barrows. I have quite a bit of art in my comic art fans page by him, and in my collection, of course. This one, I'm not sure if this is. It's not like the first Superman he did, but it's actually, and it's not a heck of a lot on this page. Both the first handful of pages I got are just pencils, also similar to the page I just showed you. The interesting thing about this is the very first page of issue number 700. That he did with Michael Straczynski, which was DC really promoted this back a few years ago when this came out, and it was some good storytelling. It was kind of like a back to basics type of thing, where it focused a lot on the stories focused a lot on, not so much super heroics and battles and stuff like that, but more about people's situations and such. So. That's kind of cool. And, at some point I would love to get this autographed. This guy, I got some nice big spaces here to have like Michael Straczynski autograph it. Eddie's autographed it on the top, but it would be nice, to get to autograph it again. But again, and he's using red pencil in this. I think you can see that. He did that quite a bit earlier in his career. So then I actually have, from that series, I have a bunch of pages. Again, really nice detailed pencils. In this panel down here is a little comment from Eddy to repeat it. But great detail. I like how Eddy, and I don't know if he does this after the fact. I think he does, because I can see some of the, sometimes I can see the X's in his background. Like here I can see the X's in his background, noting that he wants that to be filled with solid black. But I think he goes back afterwards for resale purposes and fills it in. So it just looks better when you're presenting it in your, as a page in your portfolio. You're taking a look at it, you're hanging on your wall, whatever you do with it. Okay. So that was issue 702, page 11, and I got these kind of out of order because I have a page from 701, which is a kind of pedestrian page, literally. You got Superman walking down the street here, and these kids driving by in their car, and they take a look, and they're like, well, is that Superman? Yeah. And here now, so Eddy's actually using blue pencil to rough everything out here. Okay, so he kind of looks like I saw a recent Facebook post by him of my tools. He said he showed it on the side, and it's just different pencils. I guess in some cases he might use a red pencil, he might use a blue pencil. But yeah, that's from the 701, and that's page 11. The other page that I showed prior to that was 702, and that was also page 11, but prior to that, we have page 10. So I should have showed this before that one in chronological order. A little more detail on this page. Looks as if, Superman's coming across some characters that are a little bit angry, and those characters wind up exposing themselves as being aliens, and then they start telling their story about how they were stranded, essentially. But all Michael Straczynski's story, great cross-hatching. Again, if you take a look at, this is all cross-hatching done in here. All up here, the detail in that panel is, really great. Not a heck of a lot going on in these panels. But again, more for their artistry is what I got them for. So then we got, I'm putting these back in order because they're kind of out of order. I wish I had done that earlier. Then we got from that same issue, 702, we've got page 17, where, and I'm not sure if this is one of the aliens themselves. I think this is actually like a homeless man, and he goes back to those aliens who then, shift back to, well, actually, so some of this is a regular family and the alien, but Superman's bringing in this homeless person. Great detail on the face down here. Again, red pencils being used. And he brings them, and the aliens bring the gentleman actually to their spaceship, I think, and where they, I guess, I did not read this story. I still need, I can't remember if I have this issue or not. I have to get it at some point. I do have this issue, so I have to read this story. But I have to read it and understand the story a little better, obviously. But this is like a nice, like 3/4 splash. Again, a lot of red pencil in there, a lot of detail, all little sci-fi elements going on there. He's filled in the solids again with pencil, so it makes it look much nicer to display. Okay. So I've been showing all just pencil art by Eddy. I actually have from that same series, just a few issues later, Superman number 708, page 4. I've got this this page here, and it's an okay. Some of these pages I picked up when Super Pals was having a sale, so sometimes I guess I can't pass by a good price. Some of these this is kind of neat because it does have other members of the Superman family on here. Again, I didn't read this issue, so I'd have to find out exactly who they are. I think this might be the Superman from another Earth, though. And that one obviously looks sort of like a Supergirl, but I'm not sure exactly where she's from. But some of this stuff looks to be in some kind of grand hall, and where they got these displays. I don't know if it's Kryptonians, because it kind of looks like Kryptonians to me. Okay, but nice page, and this one's actually inked by a Julio Ferreira. So, which is interesting. Ferreira is a name I see all the time inking Eddy Barrows pages, but not necessarily Julio. And I looked him up, and it is indeed somebody different from Iber Ferreira, who I normally see Eddy ink. Another pencil page by Eddy. Actually, this is actually a cover. This is the cover to War of the Supermen number 4. I've had this for quite a while in my collection. I really like the perspective, and this is essentially where the bunch of Kryptonians, including Zod, they come to attack and take over the Earth. Okay, so like I said, pretty interesting perspective. Looking up, and all these different Kryptonians. I can't even count how many there are on there. I mean, there's tons on there, and some of them are in their traditional Kryptonian garb. Where they have those. I don't want to call them, not helmets, but essentially part of their outfit is like a black covering over their heads. But we've seen it in the comics before if you've read the Superman comics. But yeah. Nice looking cover, great perspective, use of red pencil again when he's laying out his buildings to get perspective and everything to the, what do they call that, horizon point or infinity point. Yeah, an infinity point all the way at the top middle there. Okay, a lot of this gets covered up by the comic, unfortunately. Then back to Action Comics, nice action page. I like these Action Comics stories. They went and they focused on the world of Krypton. This is where they were essentially creating their own. It came from the. I'm trying to remember the Kandor, the Bottle City. A lot of the Kryptonians were. I think they were brought back to like same size, which means they got their full strength back, and they were kind of like, there's kind of a battle between the Earthlings and the Kryptonians. There's a lot of tension and stuff. Superman's trying to calm that. But this is some of the story that's happening on the Kryptonian side, okay? But yeah, like I said, lots of action in there. I love this bottom panel where it's the fist is just coming at you. I just think that's a great one. Even though, no Superman on here, but just lots of good action. Okay, and this is actually inked by Rui Jose. So I'm not so familiar with that artist, that inker, but another different inker on Eddy Barrows page. Okay. And then, another inker for on an Eddy Barrows page, a J.P. Myers. So this is actually a blue line ink page. So Eddie didn't really touch this page. But it is from Nightwing #1 from the New 52. So this is already, what is that, like 2011, I want to say that came out. But I loved, I love the action on here. I love this 2/3 splash, and you can see where there's a Nightwing is chasing this bad guy through here, and you can see the action. It just comes up through here, through the panel. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean he's running away, of course, because it starts here and then comes down here like this. A very cool looking page. I'm trying to consider whether I'm going to be selling that, because I am going to be selling a few of these pages in the near future. I have too many examples, so I'm going to share them with other people. So this is a nice piece that I'm not going to sell, but another Eddy Barrows from Nightwing, and this is for I think Death of the Family storyline, which if everybody remembers, in the New 52, Scott Snyder started that in his Batman run, and it ran through the Bat titles. So really a cool looking page, the way it's broken up, not just square panels, but with the silhouette in the middle, the Joker and the Joker's daughter in there, big action between the Joker with his sewed-on face there, that version they were using back there in the Scott Snyder New 52 time. So great detail, and this page is also by Eddy and Eber Ferreira. Okay, but nice use of whiteout for the rain all over this page. Rain always makes, for a good comic art page. Ask Will Eisner, or if you could. A more recent Eddy Barrows page from Action Comics. So this is just maybe one or two storylines prior to the new page that I unboxed. And another nice action page, again, inked by Eber. And just featuring, and I think I did an unboxing of this page not too long ago. Superman, I think he's lost some of his powers, and that's why he's essentially got like a sword in these bottle panels there. But I like the point of views. I like the silhouette in the middle panel. I like the way they've laid out the panels on this. Great detail as usual. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to go to a Batman page. Let me see. Eddie really didn't do too much Batman. This is Detective Comics 965. So again, not too old. It's probably about 4 or 5 years old or so. But a great splash of Batman. And again with Eber for Ferreira doing the inking and using like a different methods at this point, like some washes that he's using there. So it just makes this one of those like definitely a frameable type of page. And this is the story where they were facing Doomsday. So that's actually what Batman is shooting at. He's shooting at Doomsday. But a really nice page. I like the use of the lighting here on his bat emblem. With the wash. He hits it really great as far as being able to see the muscles still with the whitewash. And since we got Eber Ferreira in there, this is just a blue line inked by Eber. So none of our focus on Eddy Barrows on this page, but I just figured I'd show this because this is another highlight on my comic art fan page. Even though It's just a blue line. It's just, the action's great. The detail is awesome. Eddy Barrows really does a great job. And you got Superboy and Supergirl and even Crypto. He's pulling Supergirl away in the top corner there. But nice looking page. So a storyline that I liked that Eddy and Eddy Barrows did was Freedom Fighters. And I've got quite a few pages from that. It's, I want to say, it's a 12 issue, call it miniseries, but 12 issues is a lot of issues. But this was a really well done 12 issue. There was no, a lot of times when a miniseries goes 12 issues, it's just too long. They start putting a lot of filler in there. This story was really great. It has like the original Freedom Fighters here, and this is the very last page of the first issue. Nice splash, and they're essentially they're removing from the picture some of these Freedom Fighters. They're being taken out of the picture at this time. So that's how the first issue ends on this big, I guess you can call it a cliffhanger because you don't know it at the time. But yeah, they're dead. Again, great detail. And then by, the next page I have, and these are, I'm putting in chronological order, is from issue number 4 of Freedom Fighters. And this is the return of Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam is a big character in the Freedom Fighters, has been for over 50 years now. But, nice picture of him essentially knocking out this storyline's version of a Nazi, essentially, who's picking on, somebody that the Nazis were, essentially abusing for work. Okay, but a nice big image, really detailed. Great cross-hatching, as we're used to with this pair. Just nice detail. Look at the buildings in the background. Then we skip on to issue 11. So we're going pretty far towards the end of the storyline, and this is a. This is, I'm sorry, Uncle Sam versus, I think it's Overman. I've been corrected on this recently. I was going to say Overlord, but I believe it's Overman. So it's essentially like the Nazi version of Superman here. And he's part android, so it's sort of like the Superman in the other stories where he's, it's like the death of Superman, return of Superman. And again, he's the bad guy. Nice action page. And again, a continuation of that fight in the same issue, just a few pages later, where they have a face-off here. So a nice, great, like half splash at the top there. And good angles of I like how they did the two halves of the face here. And to finish off my focus on Eddy Barrows, and at this point, Eddy Ferreira, it's the cover to issue 12, where the Freedom Fighters are victorious, and you see them all there holding up the head of Overman, and also standing over top of the big robot that kind of like demolished him in the first issue, right? But again, like great detail on this page, great cross-hatching all down here. I had this one on the wall for a while. It got replaced by another one that's kind of behind me. You can't see it too well right there, but it's a Task Force X. That's another Eddy Barrows, Eddy Ferreira, art piece of art, cover. So check out my comic art fan page to get a better detail of these images. But yeah, I just wanted to do this focus on Eddy Barrows. I'm not saying he doesn't get much attention. He's worked on some really major products only for DC, and that could be part of it, that he's just done work for DC, none for Marvel that I know of. But really a great talent, and an affordable art from Super Pal. So check it out when you get a chance, okay? It was nice doing the show. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Take care and have a good day.